I'm giving you my disclaimer because I have
Yes,
my hair all tied up because I just had it twisted, so
yes.
it's all tied up. So I'm just fast telling you that's why I look crazy.
Oh, I just put this up in a bun real quick because I had on my
You look
lock
great.
bonnet. So
You look great. How are you, honey?
I am good now that I got in. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I yeah. It wasn't
That made
easy
me
for me
start
either.
perspiring. Gosh, I started sweating on my arms and
It's
everything.
all right, baby doll. You with family.
Okay.
One story just occurred to me as I'm listening to you. And early in my career, I went into a record company uh, to try to get a record deal, my first record deal, and it was noted for having black artists. But I always considered myself sort of not R&B specifically because I was doing all kinds of things, mainly pop. And the guy said to me when I walked in the door, I said, well, I'm not pop. And he said, honey, you black, you pop, you R&B. I said, I'm not R&B. That's what I said. He said, honey, you black, you R&B. And at that moment, it went downhill from there.
Mm,
All kinds of, if only for one night, and all these really nice songs. But he was telling me what category I was in because I was black, and I just
yeah.
hated that. I didn't
Yeah.
want to hear that because I was a universal kind of artist. I liked all kinds of music, and I didn't want to be pigeonholed into anything just because I
Mhm.
was black. So that was the beginning of my uphill battle because nobody knew I was black when they heard my first single, So
Mhm.
Good, So Right. I'm just briefing you on the struggles that
Right.
happened. And when I had So Good, So Right, I had a wonderful A&R person at Horizon Records, which is part of A&M. And he went around to all these radio stations before it was released and played it for them. So Good, So Right. And they loved it. They didn't know I was black. And they all played it. And it became a hit. And that's when they started finding out I was black. And they were like,
Mm.
oh, wait a minute, that's our girl. So
Mhm.
that's how hard it was, though, at the beginning, because I didn't want to be labeled because I had to be honest with who I was.
Right. It's interesting that you say that because that was one of the things I've since putting this album out or every single that I put out before putting the album out. And people have tried to put me in a category already. And so they're saying, well, soul, well, neo soul, well, blues, well, this. And I told her, I said, people need to put you in something in order for them to feel comfortable. And when people ask me, and I was like, I don't know what to say. I just music. I just what comes out. That's what I
Yes,
do.
no
So
labels.
yeah, I'm the Kimbi Tiez category, whatever that will
That's
be.
what I'm talking about, girlfriend. That's
So
exactly what I'm
I'm
talking
glad
about.
you. I mean, the fact that you went through that, then
It was
I
a
mean, that
serious thing.
thank
It was.
you for keeping forward, and
Oh, I
pushing
had
forward
to,
because I
because you know
wouldn't
what I
have
told
had this.
myself? I was a pretty spiritual person at the time, so I always knew that I had to stay close to my little inner angel person, and I thought I can't go to sleep at night. This is where I was at. I was 27. I can't go to sleep at night not doing what I was put here on this earth to do.
Yeah,
Period. I have to
yeah,
do that.
yeah.
Otherwise, I'm selling out.
Oh, you
You
gonna make
know.
me cry. God dang it.
It's so
Wow.
real, girlfriend. You got to stick with the inner voice, inner heart, inner instinct. That is what guides us all the way. That's what I'm saying. I don't
Yeah.
care who's telling you what. I mean, I went to A&M Records and I said I wanted to be part of A&M because of Carole King. She was my biggest inspiration because
Right.
she wrote and played her own songs, and women weren't doing that at that time. It was in the
Mhm.
70s. And I thought, okay, I want to be on A&M because that's her label, and they know how to treat a singing, songwriting person. So I went over, I called somebody who I knew, and they said, oh no, we're not signing women right now. And
Wow.
what? Oh, okay. So I went all the way around the back door all kinds of people. And I came and I got signed through Horizon, which is A&M. And when I walked past this woman who had told me, we're not signing women right now, had just been signed. And I walked past her and she looked at me like, oh, excuse me, girlfriend. Excuse me, because I was in. And that's why you have to stick with that, what's inside of you to guide you, and the whatever you choose as your guiding forces, use them, because they help you in the right direction. That's what I have found anyway.
I
Wow.
appreciate that.
Wow.
That's what has got me this far.
And that's going to get you further. It's going to get you further. Because, you know, it's all in here. All the music comes through. You know, we're like conduits. It comes through us. It's not us. That was when I was 19. I figured that out, that I wrote my first song and I went hysterical because I thought, I'm never going to write another song. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never been taught anything. I don't know what I'm doing. And I was so sad. And then all of a sudden, I had this revelation that it wasn't me, that I was the conduit. I was the channel, however you want to describe it. It's not just you. It's not all on your shoulders. Once I understood that revelation, I thought, oh, well, then I can write anything.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I can write any shit.
That's
just
what I'm
with a
talking
layer.
about.
So when they brought up, oh, would you like to write a Color Purple musical? We were like, yeah. We didn't know anything about musicals. We didn't know. We never wrote one. We barely went to them. But we knew that we could do it. We knew, because my mom always told me, never say no. Like, if you think you want to do something, never say no. Just say yes. And it'll follow.
That's so inspirational. It's like,
that's what we did then. We didn't know shit. We were reading books about how to write a musical. Then we watched all these musicals on tape. And then we just jumped in and just learned what we could and followed the spirit of music. The spirit of music. And you could always feel it in the room when we were writing together. Like when we were writing the Color Purple song, which is the one I remember the most. When we started writing that, there's a feeling comes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Do you co-write with people ever? Okay, that's fine.
I haven't so far.
I didn't either. But it is a wonderful experience. I'm just sharing with you. When you feel like you want to collaborate with someone, it's really a learning experience, because I always collaborated with people better than me, so I could learn something.
Yes, a collaboration with Brenda Russell would be awesome. Hint, hint. Put it out there. Spirit.
Cute. You never know, girlfriend. You never know. But that's what I realized is the collaboration is really fun. But you feel it in the room. When even by yourself, when the song is coming and you feel that feeling that, wow, it's like nothing else, right? It's like nothing else. It's so wonderful a feeling.
For a lot of times when something it would just come and I would just and it would be on the paper, and you ever like look at it and be like, oh, well, look at that. Where did that come from?
Who wrote that? Yeah. Absolutely. Almost
and
always.
It just had to come out.
It just
comes.
Was,
yeah.
That's how I wrote. I wrote a song called "Get Here." I don't know if you know it or not, but it's called "Get Here" by Olita Adams. So you can reach me by rail. Yeah, right. It's one of the most popular songs I've written. I wrote it in Stockholm, Sweden. I was there trying to make a record, and I was in this beautiful octagonal, what do you call it? The top floor of a building, penthouse, overlooking the city of Stockholm. And I just started coming with these words. You can reach me by railway, and then all these words came. And I was like, wow, this is something. So I played it for my friend who is an engineer in Stockholm. And he came over. He's the first person I played the song for. And I said, I think it's really corny. And I said, do you think it's really corny? And I played it for him. And he said, no, I think it's great. And that, you know, but we always judge ourselves when we're creating, but we have to step back for a minute and check it out. And let some other ears hear it. Sometimes they're good ears, sometimes they're not.
That was one of the other things that as I've, because I'm a bit of a late bloomer, if you will.
That's okay. How old are you?
You'll never guess. I am about to be 45 Christmas Eve.
No, I do not fucking believe that.
I drink water and eat my greens and all my black eyed peas.
You're like 25, 26. Seriously, I did. You look them up. You're like my daughter. She's the same age as you. She looks like you. She looks like 25, 26. You guys are doing something right. That's beautiful. And you do yoga. You do yoga too, right?
Yes, I actually taught yoga and was a massage therapist for almost close to 20 years. So my first half of my life, basically, that it was just healing and healing art. And I actually became a massage therapist because I actually wanted to be a surgeon because I love the body and anatomy, and I was just intrigued and fascinated by that. But I couldn't afford med school at the time. So I ended up
In
becoming
music.
a massage therapist. Well, I
Oh,
ended up a massage therapist
right,
to just be a better yoga instructor.
right.
And so that was my life. But during all of that, music was always there. Like my mother, she was a singer in a band in the 70s here in the South called Freedom. So she was just ahead of her time. And if she was in New York or in LA, my life probably would have gone a different route. You know, I probably would have been the show business earlier, you know. So it was just always something that was in me through my grandmother over about 70 years, the church
Wow,
pianist, you know.
wow.
So the
Your history
music
sounds like mine.
really
It's kind of
so
weird,
it's
very
just
weird. My daughter is also a yoga instructor,
okay.
and she's a musician. She loves her music. She plays
Hmm.
guitar, she sings, she writes, she acts.
Hmm.
But you two would be fast friends, I can tell you right now. And
Yeah.
my mother, her grandmother gonna be 93, is moving to France right now at 93.
Excuse
Okay,
me.
that's all I have to tell you.
Okay, let me catch up to her. Okay. Moving
Moving.
93 to
Yeah.
France. Let
So
me
we
get
have a
my
long
passport
line of
together. Right.
long women, strong women in our family. It
Hmm.
sounds like
Yeah.
you do too.
Yeah.
It's great.
That they are my uh, the Chanel women because my grandmother she has is like 7, 8 sisters and 3
Wow.
brothers. So from them, you know, I learned to hold my
Yep.
head up and
Oh, be
to
proud.
yeah,
Black proud. That's right.
you know, with what they had, and they just they taught they were my first inspirations on how to be fabulous, how to just make it happen, take some cloth, make it happen,
That's right.
you know,
That's
just
exactly
make it
right.
happen.
Let me
So
ask you
they,
about your
yeah.
music. Um,
Hmm.
do you Tony told me that you recorded your own album.
Hmm.
And where did you do that? In your studio in your house? So how did you do that?
So, engineer that I've gone to for years, because I actually started doing poetry. So he knew me through poetry. And so he just saw me over time where I said, hey, I need to come to the studio. I just called him up. I'm like, I got to get this out my head. So I would
Good.
just go to him. And he's just been an awesome guy,
Ah,
Phil, here at Incident Labs. And yeah, when it would come, and then I would say, okay, I have to do something with this and I have to get it out. And I go to him and I'm like, okay, let's get this out. And then it got to a point because I don't play an instrument. And that's what I told Tony. I said, oh, if I knew how to play guitar, piano, oh, I, you couldn't mess with me. So I, in a sense, you know, had to go to my yoga and be patient and wait for the musicians, wait for the producers, wait. But because I feel everything, so
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't work with anybody, and I just can't allow anybody in my space.
That's right.
Um, so I
That's right.
told my saying is my circle's so small it's a dot. So I through divine, just how everything worked out, just the right people at the right time appeared and came. So I met one guitarist here. I met a drummer here, who I said, I need a band, help me. I said, but they have to stick with me. They can't hit on me. They got to be serious. They got to be in it for a long haul. They got
Good
to
for you.
believe in what I'm doing. And
Yes.
so got the band together, and I said, okay, I need some producers, but you have to be serious. I can't pay you anything yet, right? I was just serious. I'm like, I just need you to believe, just hear, this is what I'm doing. Just hear this. And if you like it, and so that's how I got it's two producers really on there, and the rest are just awesome musical angels where I would just sing and I'm like, okay, do this. And they would play something. And then I'm like, okay, can you make this go like this? So, because I'm not
Doesn't
trained,
matter, but the idea
yeah.
is coming from you. That is so fantastic.
Well, Brenda,
I'm
I
so
had
So
to
proud
that's
of
how it
tell
you.
happened.
Yes.
Brenda,
Yes.
I had to tell her because she said two producers on there. Actually, there's three.
Three.
Herself.
Right.
Yes.
Because
And don't let anybody take that away from you.
yeah,
That was
yep.
something I had to fight for too,
Mm,
starting in the 70s, because I, like you, was a very co-creative force in the studio. Well, I wrote all the songs
mm-hmm.
and arranged them. And I thought, and musicians would come and ask my producer, well, what does she want here? And he would look at them and say, well, she's sitting right there, man. Why don't you ask her what she wants?
Mm,
Why are you asking me? She wrote the
yeah.
song. I mean, they weren't used to women in that
Mm-hmm.
position of creative force,
Yeah.
like in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to fight for yourself as femininely as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why you always have to fight for yourself, but it's not like an ego thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a God thing. To me, it's like, no, no, y'all ain't taking away from what God gave me to do. And I'm
Mm-mm.
doing this.
When like I told Tony, my, I guess, hold up or where I needed help. And I had to admit I needed help because I had all these songs and had all this music, and I'm like, okay, I got the songs, I got an album, and I just held it for a long
I
time.
I know that.
And I was scared because it was, I mean, the album is called From the Heart. It's literally from my heart, and it's several years of just everything,
Of
that I've gone
life.
through, things that I've observed, things that, like, that just came. Um, and I was nervous, and I had a little, and I'm not an anxious person, so it was like the first time I experienced a bit of anxiety,
Anxiety.
like, yeah, because it was like, and here it is, everybody, here's my soul out
It's a
there to
horrible feeling.
you.
After I made my first album, I went
Hmm.
out of the studio and into my car to listen to it, the mixes in my car, which is a
Hmm.
tradition. So I'm in my car and I put the album in, starts to play, and I'm hysterical. I'm crying hysterically because I think it's so horrible. I think it's so horrible that, oh my God, what have I done? I mean, I was
Hmm.
just crushed. And I
Hmm.
couldn't I couldn't I couldn't see it for what other people saw it for after I
Yeah.
got over that. But it devastated me. Like you say, it's your soul out there and you gave it away and you said I'm finished. And
Yeah.
you sat back. Oh my God. You know, it's a scary,
Yeah.
scary ass feeling. But once I got over that hump, once I realized people really, really loved it, it gave me confidence, and that's what I
Okay.
needed, was confidence, you know. But that was a scary moment.
Well, I'm not on the hump. I'm maybe like a slip down from the hump, but I'm not completely off the hump
It's
yet.
okay.
Because
You'll be fine.
it's it's
It
it's 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 interesting is what I'll say. It's interesting.
is.
Because like I said, okay, I have like I, the goose that laid the golden eggs. So I'm like,
Yes.
okay, I have a bunch of golden eggs. What am I supposed to do with it now? That's where I'm at. I'm like,
Yes.
I have no idea what to do with these.
Yeah.
And so it was a family friend years ago. He said to me, he said, stop sitting on part of my French. She said, stop sitting on your shit. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you got to share it. Nobody's going to know if you don't put it out there. Stop sitting on
Mm-hmm.
your shit and put it out
Mm-hmm.
there into the world. And I said, I thought I was. He's like, no, you're not. You're not giving, you're being selfish. And I sat with that for a while, and it took me years to understand what he was saying. And then it was like, oh, I am sitting on I am sitting on my
It's fear. It's just
so
fear. It's nothing
yeah,
that
yeah,
deep. It's like,
yeah,
oh my God, I'm scared. But
yeah.
Brenda, tell us something. What I'm curious to know, when you you realized that your first time you got nominated, um, what was that moment like? Like, is this me? Or Brenda who?
that was very exciting. I was nominated. My record company went into shock because they didn't expect it. They didn't know. I was nominated for 3 Grammys for Piano in the Dark. 3.
Wow.
And we were left, my manager and I, who's my best friend, we laughed and cheered, and we were so happy. But it was a wonderful feeling because it was right along with the feeling I've had through the whole thing. All the right people came to me, or I attracted them, or I asked them. Let me tell you one thing, girlfriend, that my manager told me that was a real game changer for me. We were sitting before I had a record deal or anything. I had just getting divorced. I'm a mess. And I said, I want a record deal. I want to know what record company I should go after. And she said, oh, no, no, no. She said, what record company do you want? You make a list of the record companies you want, not who will have you. Changed everything. Because once we changed our focus to what I wanted, it sort of narrowed our scope, and we saw what we wanted, and we went after that, and we got that. We got that. Exactly what was at the top of my list. And she hadn't told me that, I wouldn't have made that list. I would have been begging to all these companies. You know what I'm saying? Kimbi, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear
Is
me?
that meaningful to you, what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
You said, don't ask who will have you.
Mm.
Who do you want? It was the best advice I received from my
I
manager.
dig it. I dig it.
Mm.
I mean,
Wow.
that's really you're on some manifesting law of attraction.
Yes, that's what exactly. I'm a very big believer in envisioning and manifesting. I'm all about that. You know, I used to have dreams. Oh, I wonder if Dionne Warwick could record one of my songs. When I was really young, I would dream that, and then she's recorded 2 of my songs.
Wow.
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 But we have to see it. If we don't see it, we don't manifest it. You have to always
The
see
power of
yourself.
visualization.
You don't see you don't see the obstacles. You see the throughway. You just, you know, you don't, because people would say to me when I was in Canada, why are you moving to Los Angeles? That's where all the stars are and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, I'm not thinking about them. I'm thinking about me and what I got to do. It never even occurred to me that there were obstacles in my way. Let's put it that way.
I appreciate that.
That's
that
powerful.
because that answers a question that I was going to ask you, pretty much, if there's such thing as starting too late.
Oh, no, 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 no. Never. Never. Are you kidding? No.
Yeah,
Mm.
Ask
that
Celia
helps.
Cruz.
Hmm.
You ever heard of her?
Yeah, I
Celia
know
Cruz.
Celia.
Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of women.
Asunga. Yes.
There's a
Oh,
lot
yes.
of women. A lot of women, elderly women, throwing Tanya Maria from Brazil. I mean, women are masterful musicians. Women, masterful. Don't even doubt that. It doesn't matter how old you are. It matters what's in your heart and soul. That's what matters. People don't care. They hear the song, they like it. They don't care how old you are, what color you are. They don't care.
I appreciate that.
Brenda,
That's a stamp.
that's powerful.
That's
That
a
is.
legendary stamp. That's
That
like
is.
Brenda said, it's okay. I'm
It's
good.
okay. Yeah.
Every interview from now on, Kimbi, what Brenda said.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah.
I'm here because Brenda said I could be. Thank you very
You're so
much,
sweet.
dear
You are
sir.
so sweet. I wish you all the best because you're just adorable. I feel like Patty. Just want to hug you. I have a thing about people. I can see sometimes their spirit and their trajectory. That's what I want to say. And I have found a lot of musicians like that who started with me. Now they're playing with Pink, and I always find these people that then I can see where they're going because they have that fire and that light inside, and it takes one to know one. You see it. I see it in you. That's what I'm saying, Kimbi.
Oh my
You're
God.
so lovely. You're beautiful, and I wish you all the best. And any questions at any time you want to write me or text me or whatever, please do so. Okay.
I appreciate it. I know you don't have to, so I appreciate it from a deep place.
Yeah, you make me want to.
I am peace.